The following presentation is for Holy Taps. Your town, your time, your beer. We'll first go over a high-level overview of what the Holy Taps app is and what it does for its users, and how it can be beneficial for not only the consumer, but the tap houses and the brewmasters, and even the social networking of our consumers. 3 things that Holy Taps does for its consumers. The first is that it gets them involved with the tap houses. The tap houses are able to use push notifications to directly communicate with consumers. And on the reverse, consumers are able to communicate with the tap houses by providing reviews of their tap houses and the taps that they provide. Consumers are able to get more involved with their friends by using the Holy Taps app. How this works is that they're able to show and check in to different tap houses around town to allow their friends to see where they are. They're also able to provide the reviews on those tap houses and the social community on Holy Taps. And lastly, consumers are able to directly communicate with brewmasters. By providing the reviews on the taps that the tap houses actually supply, brewmasters are able to see what their customers and their clients prefer in their taste, whether that be a hoppy beer, a more sweet beer, a fruit-infused beer, or what have you. The brewmasters will be able to take that feedback and be able to construct a more complex and more crafty beer, if you will, for their consumers. So when coming up with the idea for Holy Taps, what really was the problem that we were looking to actually provide the solution for? The problem was that Jacksonville is a big community. Landmass, it's one of the largest cities in the United States. Driving across town to go to one microbrew from the next, simply cutting into my beer money by having to transfer it to gas money. But anywho, with all the tap houses and the microbrews popping up around town, we needed a quicker and easier way to figure out what was on tap. We were getting tired of driving across town and finding that the tap that we enjoyed last week was no longer there. The solution was Holy Taps. Holy Taps gathers data from local tap houses, and they actually update that information into one central location so that the beer drinker can subscribe to that particular tap house to see what is on tap at any given time. Additionally, the tap houses can push notifications to the consumers, to the beer drinkers, of alerting them of specials for that evening or that weekend, or even new taps that they have on. There are 3 key groups in this market segmentation. That can either just be for social, for professionals, or even experienced professionals. The one key thing that actually links all 3 of these groups together is the need to entertain, whether that be to entertain socially, professionally, or actually for clients. So how does it work for the social aspect of it? The social aspect, that's going to be your college students who are going to be using Holy Taps as merely a social networking tool. Young professionals, they will also be using it as a social network tool, but more so to further their careers by actually communicating with their colleagues after work and talking about their days. The established professionals will probably use Holy Taps more than likely to entertain their clients. Established professionals are the key group here that actually does not have a lot of time for a lot of research for after work activities. So Holy Taps does that research for them so that they can entertain their clients after work. The persona that is provided here is one of Dave, who is a wealth advisor who works downtown. Now Dave would probably fall into the end of the young professionals entering into the established professionals group. Now Dave would like to show that his clients that he is able to manage money well and doesn't frivolously throw his money away. Holy Taps provides him that information through the push notifications of the happy hour specials that they will be able to enjoy later that evening. The next slide here is the as-is business process. What this process is what the situation is currently. Currently, you see that the beer drinker decides to go out late in the evening, so he heads to his normal tap house. It's the tap house that's right down the road that is his go-to place. He's unhappy with the beer selection, so he leaves. After he leaves, he heads to the new tap house to enjoy one beer, but then he also determines that he's not happy with any of the other offerings on the taps. The beer drinker then goes to a new tap house and finds a few beers to try. He enjoys one, but he's told that the tap has gone dry, so then he leaves. The beer drinker then becomes frustrated. He becomes frustrated because he can no longer match his taste with what is actually on tap at 3 separate tap houses, so he heads home. After arriving home, the beer drinker will tell all his friends of the tap houses and how he left there unhappy. The 2B business process is something that's much more simpler. Once the beer drinker decides what he's going to go out, he's already got information in hand. He's got the specials that are advertised through Holy Taps by the tap houses at his disposal. He takes that information and immediately goes to the first place that offers him the best deal. From there, he takes that advantage and uses it, and then realizes that he would like to leave, but he checks Holy Taps first to figure out what's on tap at the next tap house and which one he should go to. Following slides or some shots of what the app would actually look like. If you look down at the bottom here, this is the Holy Taps emblem. And the splash screen. Here's the search tool. You're able to actually search different tap houses. You have Coast Brewing here that is showing Hand Graffiti, Holy City Brewing, and Hops Magic. Next screen is actually showing you how the push notification works, where Coast Brewing is actually providing a $3.99 pint on one of their most popular IPAs, Hop Art. For the beer drinker, knowing a name of a beer is only half the battle. They also want to know what's in it. And Holy Taps provides that information by discussing each brew that's on tap and what they're made of. From there, you can either add to your favorites or write a review on that particular beer. So what is it that Holy Taps really does? Well, Holy Taps is much more than just a social community. It's a community that brings people together on a common goal, and that common goal is enjoying craft brews. It's also something that is good for not only the consumer, but it's also good for the tap houses, because it allows on both groups to actually flourish. Both groups need each other, so it's one of those things, it's kind of a give or take throughout Holy Taps. Some of the ways that we'll be able to promote is, our big one would be in-house advertisements, and that's through bar napkins, coasters, stickers, chalkboard signage, and so on and so forth. Another avenue would be through festivals, and this is something that the founders of Holy Taps is really for, is actually getting out there and promoting the app and the craft brew industry actively through different festivals around town. And finally is street teams. This is one of the most common advertisement tools for social media currently, and that's just having a bunch of people out there speaking the word about the app and what we provide to street teams, t-shirts, hats, flyers, things of that nature. Here's our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats model. You can see that there are some weaknesses. There's also some threats, but I believe the strengths can actually outweigh it. The strengths for a tap house and the consumer are both there, but they both need each other. And because they both have to interact together for the Holy Taps app to work, I think it pushes it to success. 5 forces. This slide is a conservative forecast of what our revenue would be like based on a price per unit of 99 cents. You can see that there is actually we're missing a small amount from actually reaching our desired profit after the 5th year, but like I said, this is a conservative model. If we have any spike in the units being sold, then we'll see exponential growth. In conclusion, I think that the best way to keep our customers interested is to keep them engaged, and how we do that is through the push notifications from the tap houses.